Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
So students, now I will explain you the evolution by stages, taking an example of artificial selection. As I just told you, by the process of genetic drift and natural selection, new species came into existence. This will be more clear to you by taking an example of artificial selection. I am taking the example of wild cabbage. Now, humans have been growing wild cabbage for thousands of years. Now, from wild cabbage, we have developed so many different vegetables. Now, some farmers, they wanted the swollen part, so kohlrabi came into existence. While some farmers selected the sterile flowers, that is why which led to cauliflower. Then some farmers wanted less gap between the leaves, which led to cabbage, which we eat these days. And while the other wanted more leafy vegetable, which gave rise to the leafy vegetable kale. Now this is an example of artificial selection. So similarly, natural selection must have taken place and which led to formation of different species. So this makes it clear how evolution occurred and gave rise to different species. The next topic is molecular phylogeny. Actually, I told you the changes in the DNA actually lead to different types of proteins that are formed by the DNA, which ultimately leads to different features in the body. Now, if these changes in the DNA are studied in a backward manner, what will happen? This will help us to study the evolution by stages. This is what molecular phylogeny does. It studies the changes accumulated in the DNA over the generations. If two species are distantly apart, if they are not related at all, there will be higher number of differences in their DNA. So, the molecular phylogeny helps us to study the evolution by stages. Next, evolution should not be equated with progress, right? Evolution only means the body design became more and more complex. If you compare the body design of a bacteria, a simple aquatic animal and humans, you will see the design is more complex, but that does not mean that complex body design is better than the simpler body design. Even these days, we can find bacteria in all parts of the earth, in water, in deep seas, even in northern and southern poles, in deserts, everywhere they can strive. So, we can't say that human body design is better than bacteria, it's just that we are more complex. So, as evolution occurred, the body design became more complex, but the species which are primitive, they have simpler body design, but they are still existing. So, new species were formed from the existing ones with different features. So, evolution is only about creating different features, not about the progress, not about being better than the other species, right? The next topic is about human evolution. We have studied about evolution thoroughly using studying the fossil, time dating, evacuation. So we have studied about human evolution. You must have heard that humans were formed from chimpanzees. That's not true. In fact, human and chimpanzees, we have common ancestors. And earlier, if you see the humans from different parts of the world, you'll see we have different features, especially we have different color of the skin. So earlier it was thought that we are from different races. Using the color of the skin, the group of people were called black or white or brown. But now the study of DNA has confirmed that our DNAs are similar. And all of us have evolved from our earlier human being which lived in Africa. So some of the humans, they shifted, they traveled to different parts of the world. Some moved to Australia, Indonesia, Philippines and Asia. So they started reproducing among themselves and different features were formed. But all human beings have similar DNA. They can reproduce among themselves. So that is why we are one species. The outer features are just because of the separation, geographical separation. So even the human evolution suggests that we have common ancestor which evolved from Africa.